Ghostly tales, yet mirrors of human life. Hey everyone! Welcome to Encountering Chinese, Ghostly Tales from Zhai. Today, I'm going to tell you a story called Lingjiao. Once upon a time, there was a man named Hu Deqing from Chu. His mother was a devout believer in gods and Buddhas. Whenever Hu Deqing attended school under his private tutor, he would pass by a Guanyin shrine, and his mother often urged him to go in and pay respects to Guanyin. One day, as Hu Deqing passed by the shrine, he saw a young girl playing inside with a child. The girl had long hair that just reached her neck and was very elegant and beautiful. At that time, Hu Deqing was 14, and he found himself quite fond of her. He approached her and asked her name. The girl smiled and said, "I'm the daughter of the painter Zhai from the west side of the shrine, and my name is Lingjiao. Why do you want to know my name?" Hu Deqing then asked, "Has your family arranged a marriage for you?" The girl blushed and replied, "No." Hu Deqing said, "I would like to be your husband." "How about that?" The girl shyly responded, "I can't decide that." Although she said this, her eyes scanned Hu Deqing up and down, implying that she was quite willing. Afterward, Hu Deqing left the Guanyin shrine, but the girl chased after him and called out from a distance, "Sui Urchin is a friend of my father. You can ask him to be the matchmaker, and my father will surely agree." Hu Deqing replied, "Got it." Thinking about how clever and affectionate the girl was, Hu Deqing's heart swelled with even more affection for her. When he returned home, he told his mother about his wishes. Since Hu's mother had only one son and often feared disappointing him, she quickly asked Sui Urchin to go to the Zhao family to propose marriage. However, the bride price demanded by the Zhao family was excessively high, and it seemed that the engagement was about to fall through. Sui Urchin then praised Hu Deqing for his noble background and talents, and only then did the painter Zhao reluctantly agree to the marriage. Hu Deqing had an uncle who was older and childless, working as a scholar official in Hubei. Later, Hu Deqing's uncle's wife passed away in Hubei, so Hu's mother sent him there to attend the funeral. Hu Deqing stayed for several months and was preparing to return when his uncle fell ill and died. This forced Hu Deqing to remain in Hubei for a long time. Soon after, the rebellious troops occupied Hunan, and he lost all contact with his family. Hu Deqing could only wander in a foreign land, feeling lonely and desolate. One day, an old woman, around 48 or 49 years old, wandered around the village and didn't leave even as the sun began to set. She said to passers-by, "My hometown has been attacked by rebels, leaving me homeless. Now, I have decided to sell myself." When someone asked her price, she replied, "I have no desire to be anyone's servant or wife, only want someone to treat me as a mother, and I will live with him. Whether he is rich or poor doesn't matter." Upon hearing this, people laughed and ignored her. Just then, Hu Deqing happened to walk by and saw the old woman. He felt that she resembled his mother, and his heart was moved with sadness. Thinking about how he was now all alone, with no one to keep him company, he invited the old woman to his home and treated her with filial piety, like a son would. The old woman was very happy and cooked meals for him and mended his clothes, laboring for him like a mother. When things did not go to her liking, she would scold him, but whenever Hu Decheng experienced even the slightest illness, she would show concern and care for him, even more so than a biological son would. One day, the old woman suddenly said to Hu Decheng, "This place is peaceful, and there's nothing to worry about. But now that you've grown up, even though we are in a foreign land, you cannot neglect the important matter of marriage. Just give it 3 or 4 days, and I will find a bride for my son." Hu Decheng cried and replied, "I already have a wife. It's just that we have been separated due to the war." The old woman said, "In times of great chaos, human affairs change constantly. How can you stubbornly wait for your bride who has not yet entered your home?" Hu Decheng cried again, saying, "Not to mention that a marriage contract cannot be broken, but we are just people lost in a foreign land. Who would be willing to marry their daughter to me?" The old woman did not respond, but instead prepared curtains, a canopy, bedding, and pillows for Hu Decheng, though he did not know where she had obtained these items. One night, it was already dark, and the old woman told Hu Decheng, "Tonight, light a candle and stay awake. Don't go to sleep. I'll go check if the new bride has arrived." After saying this, she left the house. By the time it was past midnight, the old woman still had not returned, and Hu Decheng felt very puzzled. A while later, he heard commotion outside. When he went out to look, he saw a woman sitting in the courtyard, her hair disheveled and like flying weeds, and she was crying continuously. Hu Decheng was surprised and asked, "Who are you?" The woman did not respond. After a long while, she finally said, "Even if you marry me, I won't bring you any fortune. All I seek now is death." Hu Decheng was alarmed and confused. The woman continued, "I was betrothed to Hu Decheng since I was young. I never expected Hu Decheng to go to Hubei, which led to our loss of contact. My parents forced me to marry you, but even though I have come to your home, my heart will not change." Hearing this, Hu Decheng cried and said, "I am Hu Decheng. Are you Lingjiao?" Upon hearing this, the woman stopped crying, surprised and unable to believe what she was seeing. Hu Decheng led her into the house, and by the candlelight, they examined each other closely, exclaiming, "Is this a dream?" They then turned their sorrow into joy, sharing their feelings of longing and separation. It turned out that after the war broke out, the area within 100 miles of Hunan was completely ravaged. The painter Zhai fled with his family to the east of Changsha, but despite Lingjiao's objections, her parents accepted the betrothal gifts from Zhou Sheng. However, due to the chaos of war, the two families were unable to hold the wedding ceremony and could only arrange for Lingjiao to be sent to the Zhou family at night. Lingjiao cried and refused to get dressed and groomed, but her family forcibly stuffed her into the carriage. On the way, Lingjiao fell off the carriage. She then saw 4 men carrying a bridal sedan chair approaching her, claiming to be sent by the Zhou family to welcome the bride. The bearers helped Lingjiao into the sedan chair, and it took off like the wind, running far away until it finally stopped. An old woman pulled Lingjiao into the courtyard and said, "This is your husband's family. Just go in, stop crying. Your mother-in-law will be back soon." After saying this, the old woman walked away. When Hu Decheng learned about the situation, he realized that the old woman must be a deity. He and his wife burned incense and prayed, hoping to see his mother again soon. Since the outbreak of the war and the imposition of martial law, Hu Decheng's mother had been hiding in the deep mountains and valleys with a group of women. One night, there was a commotion as people shouted that the rebels had arrived, causing everyone to panic and hide. Suddenly, a young boy led a horse to Hu Decheng's mother and handed it to her. In her panic, she didn't ask many questions and simply helped herself onto the horse with the young boy's shoulder. The horse was swift and agile, and in no time, they reached Dongting Lake, where the horse's hooves seemed to dance over the water without creating any waves. Soon, the young boy helped Hu Decheng's mother down from the horse and pointed to a house, saying, "You can live here." She wanted to thank him, but when she turned around, she saw that the horse had transformed into the golden-haired lion, a mount of the Guanyin Bodhisattva, standing over 10 feet tall. The boy jumped onto the lion and instantly soared into the sky. Hu Decheng's mother knocked on the door, and it opened immediately. Someone came out to inquire, and Hu Decheng's mother found the voice strangely familiar. When she looked closely, she realized it was her son, Hu Decheng. The mother and son embraced and wept bitterly. At that moment, Lingjiao was also awakened, and the family was filled with joy and relief. They speculated that the old woman must be Guanyin Bodhisattva and became even more devoted to her. Later, the family settled in Hubei, purchasing farmland and building a house. Alright. That's all for today's ghostly tale. Lingjiao. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Please also encourage everyone to comment and share more. We'll see you in the next episode.